Coming up next on In the Box Seat podcast. Azzie family, the generations, because I mean, it's you, back to your dad, back to your grandfather. It goes back how many years? Many, many years if you combine it all.
So directly, I'm a fourth generation Azzie racehorse trainer. There have been other Azzie trainers. My dad was sitting here, he could probably tell you because it was way before my time. I think Joe Azzie and Tim Azzie, my great-grandfather George,
right.
He won the July with Riverville and I'm sorry, I can't remember all of them, but I know he won the July twice. I think there's been 4 Azzies that have won the Durban July, and why I make reference to that is because we are in KwaZulu-Natal.
The Miller family in KwaZulu-Natal are a big family, and they're good looking. Now, they've got family that they've imported from Gauteng to muddy the waters or to put up a bit of a challenge. The game is about young people, the game is about the future, and KZN are really proud to welcome from Gauteng into the training ranks a young man by the name of Adam Azzie. Adam, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. Thank you, Warren. It's nice to be here with you and Raheel today and catch up on In the Box Seat.
Yeah, it certainly is nice to be with you and nice to talk to Adam. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Warren. Exciting to have Adam on the podcast. I think it's been a couple of months since he's made the move to KZN, so yeah, good to be chatting to him and look forward to hearing his story.
For me, you've got to have a laugh, you've got to have a bit of fun, you've got to have a bit of sense of humour. I opened up saying that the good-looking Miller family now got competition. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, competition is always healthy, so there's no complaints there. I still think my wife wins it by a furlong and a bit.
Yes.
So, yeah, but and the humour is great to start with. I'm sure you know my father-in-law Mike. He's got a great sense of humour, and so does my mother-in-law Ray. So it's nice to be around them. They're easygoing people, and they have made this transition up to KwaZulu-Natal a lot easier.
I think he's just won himself some brownie points. He didn't want to be in the dog box there. Yeah. Mentioned that his wife's the best one.
Absolutely. But now, what was also funny is we said at the races the other day, I mean, as I said, you've got to have a bit of a laugh to a degree. And we said, because there was Claw, who was outstandingly presented in the ring. There was Adam Azzie, the trainer, and there was Sterling Miller.
The owner.
No, but the owner, absolutely. Yeah. And of course, Sterling and Adam, I mean, they both go to the gym, they knock oaks out. And we said, you know, we don't know who's been the best presented and the best looking on the day. Is it the owner, the trainer, or the horse? I mean, and you got whiplash when you nearly turned around and you said, without a doubt, it's you.
So yeah, confidence is a good thing in the industry as well. So
and Sterling, how did he take it?
He took it well. He's also got confidence. So there's a fine line that we've got between confidence and arrogance, but we still back ourselves.
And never mind the two of you. How did poor Claw feel? Because I think Claw's best looking out of the lot.
Yeah, without a doubt. If we were in a bar fight, he would definitely be the one winning.
Lovely to have you with us, Ed, and we're going to enjoy the next half an hour together. Let's get busy with the move to KZN. What sparked all that?
Well, it's been a combination of things. I think, getting to the point in your career where you feel like, I learned a hell of a lot from my dad and from our colleagues around, in a fortunate situation, being quite friendly with Matt as well. Could always bounce one or two things off his dad. Mr. Terry, a trainer that I was quite close with in Johannesburg, bounce things off him. My father-in-law, my dad, of course. So you got a basis of knowledge around you, quite close to you, of people that, and then you interact with people in racing while you're a youngster coming through the ranks. If you want to take knowledge from them, it's entirely up to you. So just getting to the point where I felt that it was the right time for me to independently go and train on my own. I would say that the transition would never have been crispy clean in light of the fact that my dad and I had worked together for so many years. So it would probably sadden both of us to separate. But that was just, that was probably it, to say goodbye to the partnership. And that's all that it was between him and I. And now, we're both happy for one another. He's obviously still wanted to continue training, so that was always going to be that was always going to be the case. A big reason in me coming down to KwaZulu-Natal was a combination of things. Race Coast in Cape Town and now in KwaZulu-Natal, they've just, I think they've elevated what racing can do for these two provinces. Not only for trainers, for owners, for jockeys, for just racing enthusiasts, just watching the industry from an external perspective, whether they've got money on a horse or not. I think that it showcases a lot more than probably what it had in the past, and that was very attractive for me. Then the other one was my wife's, she's decided that my kids are of the age where she would like to get back to work, and she started working, got a great opportunity here. So the fruit in front of us was highly attractive to come to KwaZulu-Natal.
And how have you taken to new surroundings and being based here for the last couple of months and interacting with different people on a daily basis?
Well, Raheel, I think if for most people that know me, I'm fairly easygoing. So transition in any place, I've never really found difficult. I wouldn't say I'm a people's person, but I get on with people very easily. So the transition coming here and mixing with people I've really enjoyed. I do find people in KwaZulu-Natal really friendly, forthcoming with information and to help. I've had a lot of trainers from when I arrived coming to the track. Would you like to know anything about the tracks, the surfaces, how it changes due to the weather patterns? And then obviously I got my father-in-law who's given me a hell of a lot of information. He's been here, if not, he's probably been the longest trainer in Summerveld. So a lot of knowledge that I could listen to him with regards to just the way the conditions of these tracks handle the weather. So you take everything in, but at the end of the day, you've got to make your choices yourself. I mean, if you're constantly training the way other people are telling you, I don't think you're ever going to make a success of yourself. It's as much as it comes down to scientific approach nowadays with technology and with knowledge and application, I think that there's a massive part of feel when it comes to training horse. And if you don't have a feel for yourself, it's going to be a lot tougher if you're trying to get a feel from someone else. But the people in KZN have been amazing.
You mentioned Race Coast and at the start, and it is the Western Cape, and KZN was, I'm sure it probably wouldn't have been an easy decision to decide between Cape Town given the beautiful features that the city does have. But I mean, KZN not so much, but in its own way it is great, and obviously weather's the best in KZN. But I mean, was Cape Town ever a thought potentially going there, growing as a family there?
It definitely was. I went down about 2 years ago for the summer season, and it was a massive eye opener, and I learned a lot as a conditioner being in the Cape. I had my horses for a short amount of time stabled with Eric Sands, and if anyone knows him, he's a phenomenal horseman. So being there, I think a lot of it was the transition to the Cape. I thought would be a lot tougher. Okay. Moving from Johannesburg there, a very niche market of clients sticking with a small amount of trainers to break into that. It's not impossible, but to be 100% honest, probably a lot tougher. So whereas I've got a better network in KwaZulu-Natal, and I found that would be a smarter call. And then, as I said earlier, with Cal's also having an opportunity, me feeling that I could create my business here probably quicker than what I would be able to in the Cape, it was a lot more of a viable decision and opportunity for us to take.
What's also interesting is, it's sad that you say naturally you had to leave family in Johannesburg, but one of the other things, which have made it easier to come here is that the family's here too, the other side of the family. I mean, that too must have been a real comforting thought as well.
That was a massive thing. So besides my folks being in Joburg, and sad to say goodbye to them, not that it's a goodbye, it's just a little bit more distance between us. My twin brother, he lives in Dubai, my younger brother lives in Dubai, my older sister lives in Dubai, and my other sister lives in the Karoo.
Stop. How many siblings? Just take us through it slowly. Twin, you're a twin.
So yeah, I'm an identical twin, one of 5. Sure. We're all super close, and having them all being abroad, you miss that the sibling interaction that we would have every weekend. Sterling and I are exceptionally close, and him and his sister are exceptionally close. He's engaged, about to get married. Hopefully, the kids are on the way soon. Our kids are still fairly young, so that's another thing. It was another bonus having the family around.
Yes.
Mike and Ray and I get on exceptionally well. As also, it just makes that circle a little bit bigger, and to have that family connection, I think is great for our kids. And another thing is the schools in KwaZulu-Natal are top class. There's really good schools in the area, so it was also a big decision. We found in Joburg, where we were staying, to send our kids to the schools that we wanted to go to, especially the high schools. It was going to be a bit of a drive. Boarding school was on the cards, but I myself went to boarding school and absolutely loved it, but was never forced to. It was a decision. So, and my kids are still really young now. The thought of that, I was like, I'm never sending them to boarding school. But by the time they get to 14, I might be like,
get out of here.
Please, I hope they want to go. Hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah.
But you never know.
Take us back. I mean, you mentioned boarding school, and from your early days, born into a horse racing family. Why horse racing for you? Why not a different path?
So I actually did try to take a different path, or attempted it. Was big into our sports at school. So I found, especially in high school, my brother and I spent a lot less time in the stables. Being at boarding school, focusing on our sports, both representing our country in water polo. So we did well within that. But then I left school and I studied a BCom finance. And in my second year, I remember, I think it was my second semester in my second year, saying to my dad, I absolutely hate this. I think I'd went to one ecos lecture, and the one that I went to in that semester, probably the reason why I battled to pass it that semester, and the teacher was absent. So just really not enjoying it.
Yeah.
I look back now, you're younger, and you make very, I suppose, immature decisions, like not focusing entirely on that because I wasn't enjoying it. Would have been nice to just have the piece of paper behind me. But I don't think I would have ever gone into that field. And then after that, when I left varsity, or dropped out of varsity, I should say, looked at what I would want to do, thought about marketing, but the horses now back out of school, spending a little bit more time going racing. I got back into the yard, started working with my dad. He's a very tough taskmaster. So, he said to me, I remember him saying to me, I don't think it's a good idea. You come and you work for me. I said, why? And he said, no, you jaw way too much, firstly. He said, and secondly, what goes for you goes for the rest of my staff. He said, so if you're late for work, I'll come down on you the exact same way I do them. And if you miss work, he said, so this 3 nights a week jawling is definitely going to stop. I said, yeah. It didn't stop. It did not stop. I still went out until 3 in the morning, got home, had an hour kip, showered, and went to work. But it catches up with you, There was a day where we had 2 horses running, and I'd been out the night before at work, and my dad had gone racing, and we quite liked both of their chances. And the double actually landed up working out to 400 to 1.
Sure.
Yeah, ridiculous. And I went home and I had a kip, and I missed both races.
No.
So, yeah.
And they obviously both arrived.
Yeah, they both arrived. So then seeing the missed
all of
calls, waking up on the way to stables in the afternoon, and my dad said, did you watch the races? And I was like, no. And he was like, burning the candle, you see. So like that for me was a big defining moment about the opportunities you're going to miss if you do burn the candle. And then I was very fortunate enough, my dad spoke to Mike de Kock, and I went to Dubai and worked with Matt there for some time with him. And seeing the level that he had gone to as a trainer, and that he was competing at in Dubai, was like, it gave you a lot of hunger, that was an opportunity you could get to. Obviously with quarantine and things now, it's a little bit tougher, but I think Hollywood are in the process of trying to open that up, and Greg Bortz, and hopefully they get that right, because it'll be great for South African horse racing if us as trainers and our horses can compete. I know that we've sent horses to America. Mrs. Rupert, she sent a lot, and they've competed there. So it shows that we can showcase what we've got internationally, especially if they're good enough. So yeah, those were two big defining moments for me where like the wheel turned and the focus was 100% on training.
After you missed that 400 to 1 double, jawling wasn't a priority anymore.
No, not at all. The thing is, those don't come along often, and
No,
you think
sure.
like, oh no, there might be another one next one. You know, you have a couple of rand and you're winning on a bet like that. It makes a difference.
Yeah,
Adam, you talk about your dad, etc. The Azzie family, the generations, because I mean, it's you, back to your dad, back to your grandfather. It goes back how many years? Many, many years if you combine it all.
So directly, I'm a fourth generation Azzie racehorse trainer. There have been other Azzie trainers. My dad was sitting here, he could probably tell you because it was way before my time. I think Joe Azzie and Tim Azzie, my great-grandfather George,
Right.
He won the July with Riberville and I'm sorry, I can't remember all of them, but I know he won the July twice. I think there's been 4 Azzies that have won the Durban July, and why I make reference to that is because we are in KwaZulu-Natal. So yeah, and then my grandfather Herbie, as he didn't train for long, he took over from George, and then he passed away fairly young. So he didn't have a long-term training career, but he did train a horse called Quarry Town, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the only horse to win the Guineas in Cape Town, Johannesburg, and in Durban.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
yeah.
Jeez, that's
And
interesting.
when it was in Joburg, it may have been called the Benoni Guineas. My dad could probably correct that, but from the stories that have been told, I think I'm correct in what I'm saying. And then obviously my dad, Michael, as he trained, he's been very successful in his own right, had many good horses over the years. I know that he's been perceived as a sprint trainer, but funny enough, his first Group 1 winner was a filly that won the Oaks, so a staying race. But he's had some top sprinters over the years, National Currency, Harry's Charm. So yeah, just to name a few of them. And and then myself. And obviously now I'm gone on individually, but while I've been in partnership with my dad with my own license, trained 3 Group 1 winners. So I've won the Computer Form Sprint, the Cape Flying, and the Mercury Sprint. So in all 3 provinces, which I think is a nice feat to have.
Absolutely.
Would like to continue that. I mean, that is the level that any trainer wants to compete at Group 1 levels. But you need the stock, and I'm hoping that I get the support here to have that stock so that I can compete at the level I know I can.
Are you surprised to see that out of all your brothers and sisters, siblings, you know, that you're the only one that's training? Did that shock you?
So all of us were, all the boys were involved in the yard at one point. Dex wasn't there. Dex, who's my twin brother, wasn't there for long. He said that he felt that the personal relationship with my dad and him would have taken strain. You know, not everyone can work as family. So he, I think it must have been after about 4 or 5 months, he just said that, yeah, look, if he wants a relationship with his father, he's not going to work with him. So he got out of racing because of that, and has done exceptionally well in the property industry. He's a director in Dubai for one of the big property companies there. So he's done really well for himself and made the right decisions in doing so. And then my younger brother Ryan still works with horses. He worked in the yard. And then when we had the unfortunate loss of Adrian van Vuren and our stable diminished quite quickly, Ryan decided to go into other avenues. And now he's actually back with horses. He's working for Equitrans in Dubai. So all the imports and exports of horses, he's the operations manager there.
Excellent. Jeez, okay.
Yeah.
Exciting. And your twin brother, I mean, personality compared to you?
Dex and I are similar in many ways and very different in other ways. I'll tell you what, he's got immense amount of swag. So he is, and he's a very funny guy. If you sit and you have a drink with him, the jokes will come out. He's got a great Northern Ireland Irish accent that he can put on and tell a joke. He'll have you in stitches. He was an absolute ladies' man. I wouldn't say he is now, because he's settled down, happily married with a beautiful little girl, Zoe. We're similar in some ways, but different in other ways. But if you don't know us well and you see us walking down into the parade ring, it's happened a couple of times. Sure. Actually, Justin Snaith's wife said to me at the Met last year, he walked into the ring and she was waving at him, and he looked at her and just looked away. And the next time I saw her, she was like, I only then saw you guys together later, and she thought, geez, Adam's obviously formed this massive opinion of himself.
He's not greeting. He's not greeting.
And it happened so often when we grew up because we're different in that aspect. So someone would come up to me and be like, how's it, Dex? I'd be like, no, I'm Adam, I'm his twin brother. And people would come up to Dex and be like, how's it, Adam? And he'd just be like, it's on my name. And carry on. And the next time I'd see them, they'd be like, geez, you were rude the other night. You said it wasn't. And I was like, no, I've got a twin brother. Didn't believe me. I had to pull out some pictures on the phone and prove it to them.
What was it like in school? Because, I mean, in school, it's often something that can get confused.
Yeah, we were naughty in school. We swapped classes and we tried to capitalize on the... I'll tell you, one day I asked him, can I go to his art class? I wanted to trick his teacher, knowing that I had a business economics test at the same time, which I hadn't studied for. And I knew he had been grafting for his. Yeah. So he landed up writing both of our tests. Okay. And thank goodness he did well in both of them. But, you know, I owed him one for that.
That's good. But, you know, you talk about brothers and sisters and sibling bond. I mean, yeah, of course, we've always got siblings. Please, most welcome to have your coffee and enjoy yourself. Sibling bond, of course, sister, brother at start. I mean, I know you've just got a brother. I've got a brother and a sister. But there's always something, you know, a bond with a brother. That's just, yeah, I don't know what it is. And it's great. Not everyone can have a relationship with their brother. And it's just great that people come along, that you can. It's special. And that's clearly what you've got with Dexter and with your other brothers and obviously your sisters, but I'm talking about brotherly bond.
Yeah, so I think I said it in school in my final year speech to our hostel, that I spoke about all the individuals in our dormitory, our matrics, and then to speak about my brother. I'll try not to get emotional about this, but so an atom has two elements to complete a perfect bond, and that's what Dex is with me.
Sheesh, how's that? Yeah, that's great. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is, and I'm sure it's a bit of a pity that you guys stay so far apart, but I'm sure communication's always there.
Yeah, no, we chat every single day, either video calls or telephonically, and Dex does come up a lot. He comes and visits a lot. Kels and I haven't had the opportunity to go there yet because we've had a lot going on. I have gone up on my own, but we are planning next year to take the kids and go visit him because him and his wife, Michaela, really make an effort to come and see us a lot.
You briefly touched on you and Matt going to Dubai. I mean, what was that experience for you like?
Oh, it was unbelievable. At that stage, they had Bold Silvano, Rayana, I think Igugu was there as well. He had like a really nice string of horses, and unfortunately, Bold Silvano landed up not running on World Cup night, but his prep run prior to that, he broke the course record in his prep run for that race. So it was exciting. There was a great team there. Trevor Brown was there. Stephen Gell was there. Had really good grooms and work riders around. Christophe Simignon was riding for them. Kevin Shea was riding for them. So, you know, a basis of a really good team, and to see what that was like. And then obviously the Dubai experience, being at Maidan and training, watching the training going on there. It was eye-opening. It was educational. It was a really good, fulfilling experience.
Do you think if you could have that experience now that you've learned so much more about the game, I mean, you'd be able to just consume more from that whole experience?
I think when you understand more about horses, you can consume more. So yeah, definitely. And would like the opportunity to go there and attempt it myself. But if it's all about the quality of the horse. It would be lovely if I had a horse good enough to go. I would love it.
Yeah, absolutely is indeed. Now, horses, as we mentioned, how many have you got? You have to be pleased with the way they've performed. I don't think you've missed a place since you've been here. Talk to us about your current strength and your supporters.
So someone said to me the other day, actually my place rate was something like 88.9% runner to place.
I was just trying to get onto the website to actually get the exact percentage, but the signal's down at the moment.
So unfortunately haven't had a winner yet, but you know, when I got here and I started working them, I thought to myself, are you going to make a satisfying ego decision and try and get your horses ready to come out and just hit the boards, which would be great. I mean, it would be great in the public's eye, it would be great for self-satisfaction, but would it necessarily be the best thing for my horse and the best thing for my client because I've got a small string? So I said to myself, necessarily I don't think it is. I've got a string of 11 horses, of which 6 can only race. The others are juveniles. And of the 6 which can race, I've got to try and get longevity out of them while I'm expanding on the string. So a horse like Claw, who I'm aiming towards the Christmas handicap, he's so well rated at the moment. I've been placing him in races where he can't necessarily get a penalty to run at a place. He's running at level weights with On My Honour, and if they ran in a handicap, I think he'd be receiving 10.5 or 11 kilos, and he's running 0.9 of a length behind him. So great run, don't get the penalty, you don't get the satisfying win, but there's a bigger picture in mind. So like a lot of them haven't really gone to the races wound up. They've been short of a gallop or two, and I'm letting the racing bring them on, and they've been running well. So I thought all my horses probably by their seconds or their third starts they'll be in their place, but having racing bringing them on and not like grinding them hard at home to get them fit to win first time out, it'll prolong their season and give me the opportunity to expand my string while I'm still able to have some winners and success.
How did the owners that were both with you and your dad, I mean, when you guys were training in a partnership, how did they take that you guys are going your separate ways, and how was it decided that you keeping this amount of horses, your dad's keeping this amount of horses?
Yeah, so look, that did become a little bit tougher than what we may have thought, because we both were attached to a lot of the horses and been doing work with them. So, one or two said we must make the call, and then that is probably where we may have butted heads a bit, where I wanted also, he didn't, and then what we did was we just asked our clients, can we leave it to them, and they can decide what stays and goes. I understood that they would want their horses to stay in Joburg, and I said to my clients I wouldn't take it personally, and hopefully our paths cross later down the line if they decided to leave all their horses there. But I think the horses I got was very fair. It was by a lot of our strong stalwart clients. Lawrence Verner's, he's massive in Joburg, and he's got horses around the country. He's opted to stay with me with a few horses and keep horses with my dad. Gaynor Rupert's been such a big supporter of our stable for many years now, and she said these ones will stay and these ones will go. Larry Nestat's followed me, I wouldn't say followed me, he's said that he'll still support me here. Arun and Warren Rippon, they've said to me initially that they don't really have a lot of horses in KwaZulu-Natal, and they thought about it and they said, why not? Let's buy your horse and we'll send it to KwaZulu-Natal, and the ones that were in Joburg stayed in Joburg. And then obviously my brother-in-law Sterling. I can't even thank the guy enough. He's been a massive supporter of me, and he's made the transition a lot easier than what it could have been if I didn't have him around. So just to go through, I don't want to miss anyone out, but those are the clients that have really stuck by me. And then also a guy, Yagane, he's sent me a few horses as well, so it's nice to have him. Dalen Chinsamy and Trevlin Pillay were big supporters of the yard, and they, in communications lately, are obviously open to the opportunity maybe now of having a few more with me in KwaZulu-Natal. Let's hope that happens.
You're open for business. That's the game is on here. You're here to do business. You're here to train winners. And how many do you want? What's your ultimate? What's the word I'm looking for? Your ultimate number.
What number would you be comfortable with?
Yeah, and how can people get hold of you? Are you big on social media?
Look, so I'm on Instagram. I'm not massive on TikTok. WhatsApp, obviously, always available. And then over via email, if you're still operating via email, I'm always in comms that way.
What is that email, Ad, so we can put it up?
So my email address is adam@azieracing.co.za.
Lovely.
And I don't mind putting my phone number out there. It's 082-940-5381 if someone wanted to get in contact with me via WhatsApp. And on Instagram, it's just my name, Adam Azzie.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Back to the amount of horses, your ultimate, etc.
So at the moment, like I think every trainer's probably got like his niche number where he feels like he's really got his finger on the pulse. And I think just with myself and my assistant, who's my head lad, Simpiwe Mediana, I think 80 is probably a number that I feel like without employing any extra staff, I really can manage 80 horses well, knowing what's going with each individual horse. The minute I go above that, then I would start looking at employing another assistant and things like that, because then you might find you dropping the ball.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm just talking about from past experiences at that number where you've got your staff and how much extra staff you would need in consideration to when we had the likes of Van Vuren and we had about 150 horses, and how many staff was in the yard, each having their own role, doing this and this and that. You know, when you've got a lot of clients supporting you to that level, you don't want to drop the ball. You've still got to give them that service, and you've got to try and still know each horse individually.
Yes.
And it's very hard for one man to know each horse individually when you've got that number of horses. So I find between 70 and 80 horses, I really know what's going on with each horse individually.
How have you found sort of your horses taken to new surroundings here in KZN, and have all of them sort of settled in absolutely perfectly? Have you had a couple of hiccups along the way?
That's a good question, because also to train them differently.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, so the climate's different. I know, look, when you train up on the high veld, like, you can get a lot more long, stressful work into the horses. That aerobic training really works well with them. I'm not saying that it doesn't here, but you've got to find a balance. What I've seen in doing that. Tracks are obviously also the difference. The beach track here is a lot heavier than what the tracks were at Randkiesfontein. So you can probably get a little bit more out of them doing a little bit less. But then also horses, I found when I came here first, I just kept them on the beach just so they could integrate to the heavier track. And a lot of them got a little bit keen on me. But then the bend here is beautiful to get horses to drop the bit and really come back to you. So I've used that a bit when I find horses getting a little bit aggressive and not breathing well. The tracks here are beautiful. Tony Rivelin does an amazing job at maintaining the facilities with the weather patterns. You know, hats off to him. The trainers are blessed to have a guy like him. I should say we are blessed to have a guy like him managing the tracks. And the horses themselves, I can't say that I've seen them not transition well, because my horses are looking good. Although none of them have hit the winner's box yet, they're running well. So yeah, pretty pleased with the way in which they're performing at the moment. I must say that with little nicks, cuts and scratches, the legs will flare up a lot quicker here than they do in Joburg. It's something you have to be on top of, like addressing a wound really fast. But that's cool. That's all stable management. That's not hard to manage.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Talking about the way they look and the way they've transitioned, without giving any secrets, but yeah, all trainers turn their horses out magnificently. And we were just saying on air the other day at Hollywood Breeds Gravel that you can see a Kanemayer horse, you can see a Howells horse, you can see a De Kock horse. What is it? I mean, as I said, without giving away too many secrets, you guys take it to the next level.
Look, I can't say that I think we're doing anything different than what I believe other trainers are doing. I mean, so it's stable management. It's just stable management. I've got a really good group of guys that work for me. You know, there's no iron team. I can sit here and I can go into the winner's box and take the presentations. Really good grooms that know what the level is that you want to compete at and what should be in the stable. And they maintain that. And I got one or two older guys, and as I said earlier, Simpiwe, he's like my right-hand man here. He knows what level I want to compete at and what I want the stable run at. And he manages that for me, and the guys are happy. If they're not happy, then, you know, I suppose then they wouldn't be there.
Sure.
So we just try and maintain a certain level. I mean, I had a chat to a guy today that actually works for us and felt that, like, he's a younger guy. He's just not managing to keep up. And I said, look, the opportunity's here for you. I mean, as an individual, I like you, but are you battling to keep up with the rest of the guys? And he's a younger guy, he's still learning. So I'm also about that. It's about empowerment, you know, from the team within. I'd like to, as I expand, empower the guys that are with me, involved in my team, to get the next promotion, not hire externally.
Yes.
Empower my team from within.
Yeah,
you mentioned that your dad is a hard taskmaster. How are you?
A little bit more patient, I would say, and then we'll leave it at that.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the age gap. Maybe it's because Dad's obviously a lot older. He doesn't want to take
I definitely got that from my mom.
Okay.
Definitely got that from my mom.
I want to just ask you, and we jump around, that's okay. Let's go back to we've spoken about the broader family on both sides. Let's talk about your children but mainly the story about how did you meet Callie?
Okay, so that's it's a lovely story and a little bit humorous as well. So my dad was down here for the season with my younger brother Ryan, and I was up in Joburg training the horses while he was here for the KZN season. And I'd sent 2 or 3 horses down, and I think Deputy Judd was running in the Daily News or the July. No, he was running in the July, and he was a horse that I'd done a lot of work with in Joburg. He had his niggles, so he, as I said, we are a big team, and everyone had their certain things that they had to do, and he was one of the horses that I had to manage. So I came up to see his race, and my dad was staying at my mum and my dad were staying at the yard here in Summerveld for the season, and they said they were going to Phil Giorgio's comedy evening. So they asked me, "Would you like to come with?" And I said, "No, I'm gonna relax. I'll stay." And as they were leaving, I just thought, "Jesus, it's going to be boring. There's nothing to do." I said, "Can you give me 5 minutes and I'll be ready? I'll go."
No, stop. No, not 5 minutes. Listening to the conversation the two of you had before we went on in, we're going to touch on that in a moment. It doesn't take 5 minutes to sort that both of your hairs out.
So
anyway,
it
5
may
minutes,
not have been 5 minutes, but I mean,
5 minutes just to get them to wait.
I did my best to make this happen in 5 minutes. Yeah, and then we got in the car and we got there and we were sitting at the table, and this goddess walked past me. So
at this stage, you never clapped eyes on her before?
I'd never seen Callie or met her.
Until that comedy evening?
And at that stage, I fancied myself to have some really solid game. So, and I actually said this in my wedding speech. I was like a love-struck puppy. I was speechless. I just stargazed. And I actually went to the table that her brother Sterling was sitting at. I just tried to spark a conversation. "How's it, guys?" And thought someone would introduce me to her. It didn't happen. Sat there and the whole night was looking at her and looking at her. And I promise you, if someone tells you a look can't say 1,000 words, they're lying, because that definitely did. She went home that evening and she said, this is the humorous part, she asked her brother and them, who's that at the table? And she gets home that evening and she says to her mom, "I've seen the man I'm going to marry tonight." So she says, "Dexter Azzie."
Oh, excellent. You must have fainted.
I only found this out later because so Ryan bumps into Ray at the Woolies in Hillcrest, and then he messages me. He's like, "Oh, Callie, you're telling me that you saw and apparently she took notice of you as well." So I go on social media, do a little bit of stalking. So she sees I'm following her. We start chatting. We're chatting over WhatsApp. She was doing her final year of law at Rhodes, and we started chatting. So it was quite hard to see one another, but we chatted for a long time over WhatsApp, and then she flew up to Johannesburg and we went on our first date. And we had spoken a lot, but we had a lot in common. I think at the end of the evening, we were both a little bit nervous as well to meet each other. And after we went for dinner and we landed up having canapes and a few drinks, and then I said, "What would you like to do afterwards?" And she was like, "Do you like going to the casino?" And I was like, "This is it. Yeah, this is the girl." So we went to the casino. We had some fun. We played at the casino, and then and then we kept in contact after that. And I think about 2 years later, we moved into our house. We were engaged for about 2 years, and then we got married, and we've been happily married, and we got 2 beautiful kids 6 years down the line now.
I remember very clearly your engagement. I really do, and it's a lovely journey. What a lovely story, and what a way to meet. Yeah. And that was a great trip. I've met Dexter Azzie.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Right, let's talk. Your age, you are?
I'm 38.
Okay, I want to go back to that bit of banter which we were having, the 2 of us or the 3 of us. I was just so annoyed because all I could do, I couldn't contribute. I could only listen, because clearly we can all see what's happened up here. And I can't tell you on a public platform why it's like that, but anyway, I'll tell you off air. The 2 of you, hair products.
No, you can just see, he puts a lot of time into that hair.
Hairstyle. But we were just saying, it's just how funny how times have changed. All the hair salons, the facials, all the, you know, in the old days it was very much a ladies thing. Now, as time has progressed, you know, it's now for unisex, which is so great because why wouldn't you want to keep yourself healthy and young?
Yeah, look, so I think it's a combination of things. You know, you can be really strict and put what's really healthy into your body, so that you have longevity in life and exercise and do all those things that you naturally do. But you know, there's sun rays, and there's things you got to also do as treatment to maintain. We all want to keep looking young. I mean, if anyone told you that
they want to look old,
that would be a lie.
Yeah.
You know, so it is something. I think men's grooming now and being a metrosexual is probably a lot more common than what it used to be.
Yeah.
But it's something that it's been quite natural to me for a long time.
Do you have a brush?
No, I style my hair with my hands. Yeah.
Where were we walking? We were walking somewhere, maybe.
My God-given brush.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah. We were walking somewhere.
We
were at the race course, and I said, you know, because he was doing all these funny things, and I said, "Don't you have a brush?" He said, "No, these are the." So you're right. So it's the hair, it's the hand. Okay, all right.
You seem like you have a get ready with me routine.
Yeah.
I mean, what does a featured race day look like for you? I mean, how long does it take? Ironing the suit, getting the hair ready.
So the suits are pressed usually the day before.
Sure.
I've got a superstition that I don't shave on the day of races.
Okay.
So the evening before, I'll do. If I've got a beard, I'll shape my beard the evening before. But then obviously, like the skincare products are done evening and morning. And then, you know, also a race day is quite stressful. So you want to eliminate external time with anything. You want to get in the shower, keep it relaxed, get out, get dressed, and then just keep yourself nice and calm on the way to the races.
I mean, you mentioned superstition and not shaving. How superstitious are you?
Not exceptionally superstitious, but I suppose that's a silly thing. Maybe I heard when I was younger, don't shave on race day. Or,
sure.
So there's certain things like, I mean, if a black cat had to run past the car, I'd be like, oh gosh.
It's bad.
Yeah, if I've left something in my car when I get on the races, I'll never go back to the car.
Interesting.
So yeah, I feel like it's bad luck to go back.
Okay.
So toilet seats are always down in the house. So a little bit of feng shui, and got a few chakra beads that I'll take to the races. You know, small things that are actually probably quite silly because they're really not going to influence the way your horse runs, but it's for peace of mind.
Right.
So I said I'm not really superstitious. Saying all of this now, I'm like, geez, you sound crazy.
The greatest superstition, I've told you before, but the greatest superstition story, quickly, a friend of mine came up from Cape Town, we're going to the July. I had an accident, hired a car, and the car was green. And I went to go to his hotel in Amsterdam, fetched him, and he walked out of the hotel and he said, "What's this?" I said, "No, it's a hired car." He said, I'll taxi. There was no Uber in those. I'll taxi to the July. I said, he said, "It's a green car." He said, "Not a chance." He said, "I'm not going to the races." I said, "If you don't get in this car now, you and I'll have a big argument." I said, "I'll tell you what I'll do with you. If you lose, whatever you lose on this race meeting, I'll give it back to you, but get in this bloody car." Got into the car. Then the next thing, he started saying, "Oh, goodness, oh, goodness." I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "Every single robot is red. Every single robot." He said, "That's the river for me." He said, "Green car, red robots, you're going to be paying me a lot of cash." Get to the races. Long story short, drove home that night. I said, "How was the day?" He won 280,000 Rand. He said, "I want to buy this green car." So, you know, there it goes. But we've all got our superstitions and bits and bobs.
Funny you talk about the green. Sterling's also superstitious.
Okay. Superstitious, yeah.
Superstitious about green. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know if I got a runner for stills, there will be definitely no green in anything I'm wearing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And yeah, we all got our little bits and bobs. And for me, it's the phone. If the phone rings with 200 to go, I'm gone. So, but anyway, nevertheless, few things before we wrap up, Adam. Hobbies? Do you get a chance to relax? Do you get a chance to do anything else?
At the moment, my hobbies probably, I would be lying if I didn't say was spending time with my kids. I do enjoy cycling. I try to get on my road bike as much as I can. I've now set up a kicker at home, so I ride on my kicker at home. I've got a gym at home, so I try and exercise at home because, racing's very demanding when it comes to time. So the little bit of time you do have at home, I try to spend with my family. And I would be lying if I didn't say that I'd like to get out and be on the bike a little bit more. But there'll be time for that.
Yeah,
There's more important things at hand now.
It's become a stock standard question. We need to find out, are you a soccer fan, international soccer fan, and if so, who?
So, I was a soccer fan, but I support United. So,
Okay, stop. Okay, cut.
So it's been brutal to watch them the last few years. But I've always been a big rugby fan. So,
Okay, so rugby's the good.
yeah, rugby, it's exciting to watch. It's quicker, it's lovely. My wife also loves rugby. She understands the game. So it's something we can watch together. So yeah, we really enjoy our rugby.
You don't follow much water polo?
No, so unfortunately, like other than schoolboy water polo, South African water polo is not really competitive internationally. Sure. But to keep fit, if I could find a club and start playing water polo again, I'd love that because it's a sport where you are super, super fit and you feel good when you're fit enough to play a full game of water polo.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's just our production team out back, and we time is obviously of the essence, but I just want to squeeze in the last couple of things. We've got two dreams and goals on this podcast. One is to, even if it's by Zoom, to have an interview with Aidan O'Brien. And the other one that I want to do is I want to get around a big boardroom table Lucinda Woodruff, Jeff Woodruff, Adam Azzie, Mike Azzie, Matthew de Kock, Matt de Kock, and so it goes, because to show, the training partnerships of parent and child. I don't know if in the world maybe. We've got a lot of training partnerships, parent and child.
Yeah, we do. It just shows you how racing is instilled in your blood, like when you come from a family of horse racing people. And it's hard to get away from. Not that like you would want to get away from. It's just, that's how beautiful the game is actually. You don't always find a doctor's child becoming a doctor. I'd like to know the numbers of how many doctors' kids become doctors, or attorneys' kids become attorneys. Or soccer players, sons become soccer stars. Like what the stat is, I think it's probably quite high in horse racing, and not just South Africa, locally, and to the world, and to people watching the podcast. That probably speaks volumes. Like if you're watching this podcast, you're probably a racing enthusiast. You're an enthusiast of a beautiful, beautiful sport that offers a lot to people, not just on a job basis, like excitement. Passion, entertainment, and there's so much more that that racing could offer. More people that get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to just talk of a few news items, 3 or 4, and then we're going to wrap up. So we'll include you. We'll be together about the news, and I'd like to start with you. You're off to the Cape on Saturday for the official opening of the season.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to it. Cape Punters Cup, the great race that gets the season underway, and I think it's going to be exciting. I'm sure you would. You've obviously seen the 3-year-olds. What do you make of the current 3-year-old crop?
Very competitive, especially the colts. I think the 3-year-old colts are very competitive, and it's going to be it's an exciting season for them. It seems like there's a lot of firepower with the 3-year-old colts. The fillies maybe a bit lighter, I think. Like nothing really standing out that seems booming at the moment. But then again, the fillies sometimes can mature a little bit later, and 1 or 2 might pop up into the Cape season now. We're speaking a lot before it. And that's usually what happens. Those Cape Trainers fillies come out now just before the Punters Cup or Punters Cup and after. And then they kick on and they become like quite special fillies to go on with and land up breeding. So it'll be interesting to see what comes along, but this Cape summer season is always amazing to watch. From just whether you're there or watching from the TV, they really put on a good show, and it's exciting as any member of racing to follow Cape racing at this time of the year.
Yeah, exciting times.
Yeah, hugely exciting times. And just in KwaZulu-Natal on the 5th of December, there's going to be the Hollywood Bets Durban July, the July in December, at Christmas. That's the 5th of December, Hollywood Bets Gravel, afternoon into the evening, night racing. And there'll be more about that on social media. But the whole Hollywood Bets Durban July vibe for you, but on the 5th of December, something different and a bit of fun, great fun as the festive season looms. Drakenstein Studs podcast, and thank you to all our guests that are on our podcast. That was an absolute crack. It was a long watch. What we're going to do in future is, if it's a long watch, we'll do part 1 and part 2. Cool. But I think it was hugely received, and again, what a farm it is.
Yeah, absolutely, a special farm, and I'm sure you would have got horses from the farm as well.
The first time I went there, I got a little bit lost finding my way to the office, and then eventually I found the offices, and I said to Kevin, "What a beautiful place to get lost in."
Yeah.
What a beautiful place to get lost in. If you die and come back as another horse, you want to be a horse at Drakenstein. It is unbelievable.
Yeah, it was special. Farm. It was special. So indeed, and thanks to the team that made us so accommodating, and it was a great podcast. But to all our guests on all our podcasts, always lovely to have you. Now, before we end up and close up, last bit of news. The NHA, National Horse Racing Authority Constitution, they did the vote, they did all that goes with it, and the vote was 97% in favour, a resounding vote for change, and let's see where it takes us.
Yeah, let's see where that goes. I think obviously if it was a 97%, it's pretty much unanimous, and I think everyone's making this decision for the benefit of racing. It's not it's not like selfish decisions. We just want this industry, every trainer, every owner, every breeder, we want to see this industry fly, and it can. It can if everyone comes together and we've got the same mindset, lateral thinkers. I really think the industry is heading in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a wrap from us, Adam. Yeah, it's just been great to sit with you and to keep us entertained, and we'll follow your horses with great interest, and just lovely to have you on our In the Box Seat podcast, proudly brought to you by Gallop TV. So we thank you for your time, and we wish you, your family, welcome to KZN. We love having you here.
Thank you both so much. It was an absolute pleasure to be here, and nice to have a bit of a chat.
Raheel, lovely to chat with Adam.
Time's flown by. But
I tell you, it's hard to try and keep the time low, but when you've got such valuable guests, as we always have on our podcast, In the Box Seat podcast, but that's why it makes it the best podcast in the land. We may be biased, but that's okay. That's it from all of us, and Raheel Radhakrishna, Adam Azzie, myself, Warren Lenferner, the team behind the scenes. They really, we couldn't do this podcast without them, and we thank them for their loyalty and for their continued support. That's it. Punt well, be safe, be kind, and as always, we will see you in the number 1 box.